Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. Doing? We're good? Drop a 1 in the comments below if you can hear me okay. 2 if you can see me okay. And 3 if you're having an awesome day. If you got all that, you got great ears. Hello, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency call. I'm so excited. This is, there we go. We got some 2s and 3s. Good job, Jake. Got some great stuff for you today. Very excited about Mr. Kyle Yee going to be joining us here in just a couple minutes. This is the only live call in insurance. So you got to deal with this. If we've got some glitches and grimaces, which we're doing just fine. Everything's rocking and rolling. But I wear that badge proudly, and I'm so excited each and every week we get such incredible guests to come on with us and share what they're doing in the business, in the industry. Future, we've got a huge IUL producer next week, got a carrier releasing a brand new product the week after that. Got just stuff planned, and it's fun to do this each and every week. So thank you for joining. I hope we make this educational, entertaining, and Kyle's going to absolutely crush it. Now, here's just my always line I like to say is a party is more fun with more people. So you can take the joinamericalive.com, that link. You can drop it in any of your group chats, your WhatsApps, your Telegrams, your Snapchats, your Discords, your Slacks, etc., and invite people to join, learn with you from a young man who's writing $50,000 a month of life insurance, how he's doing it, the words he says, and how he's also simultaneously building an agency right now at $400,000 a month. His agency is selling. The commissions they're earning with the guys he's working with, teaching, recruiting, and simultaneously following what he does. So if that makes sense to any of you, I would share it. Join America Live, invite them on. We're also live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at the exact same time. StreamYard, the software we use, it's pretty cool. So let's jump into some updates. Got something to share after that, and then we're going to bring Kyle on and have an amazing call today. Can't wait for him to join us here. So a couple quick updates. Discount code right now. Thank you, Integrity Lead Center, the Integrity technology platform in which I think they're kind of rebranding, but to encapsulate all of the different Integrity tools from Medicare Center, Lead Center, Life Center. But Lead Center, you know where it is. Link it in Gateway. 20% off right now. Diamond, Gold, Silver, and Bronze IUL leads. Discount auto apply to checkout. You don't have to, there's no coupon code. Just auto apply, 20% off right now, starting tomorrow through the 10th. So IUL leads. I mean, holy cow. That's for any of you guys out there selling any level, any IULs, any of our IUL producers, I'd go in and grab a few right now, throw them into your CRM, let it rip, and see what auto appointments you can get booked for yourself. So very cool. Keeping going. Top 100. This is for week 5. So this is all of July. $12,477,801 by 1,848 agents. Incredible. So the number 100th agent made $23,000 with us, all the way up to our number 1 producer, 81,000, Vontre H. I'm going to try to zoom in and give some love to the first column club. Number 20, Montserrat Vargas, 45,000. Number 19, Josh G, 45,000. Alexander C, 45,000. Christopher C, 46,000. Breon Vargas, Montserrat's brother, 48,000. Hamza S, 48,000. Austin M, 49,000. Gabriel S, 50,000. Michael A, 50,000. Kyle J, 51,000. Carlos T, 52,000. William R, 58,000. Santiago M, 60,000. Elizabeth J, 61,000. Peyton P, 63,000. Number 5, Shelby S, 67,000. Number 4, Lauren H, 68,000. Randall B, number 3 with 71,000. Austin B, 73,000. Number 2, and Vontre H, 81,000. He will be speaking live on stage at Ignite coming up. We'll talk about it here in a second, but just an incredible month. Nearly 2,000 agents putting policies into force, protecting clients and taking care of their families with the money they make. Blessed each and every month to be able to have some small insight into what's happening and what's working so well in the industry. But just great job, everybody. Your goal, if you're on the list, stay on the list. If you're on the list, second goal, move up the list. And if you're not on the list, get on it. Get on the list. There's no barriers to entry except the ones we put on ourselves. So great job, everybody that made it onto the list. 23,000 was the key to get on. And just an absolute huge month so far. Can't wait to see what we do here in August. Ignite. There's my man, Zach Twardowski, IUL King himself. IgniteEvent.com. He will be speaking live. We have a bunch of producers being announced right now. Is working with corporate, who right now, majority of them are in Cancun right now. So if you're watching right now and you're in Cancun, drop a C or a pina colada emoji in the chat below. If there's no C's or pina coladas, I will not be hurt because I'll be happy you're enjoying the trip you won. But we have a trip right now, this taking place today through Sunday, that many of our top producers and top producers have earned by selling $250,000 over the past 10 months up until the point where they earned this trip they're going on right now. So right now, at the same time, there's another trip happening right now that is qualifying for Puerto Rico coming up next year. So not only do we have a crazy high comp, not only do we have producer bonuses, not only do we have agency manager bonuses, do we have carrier cash bonuses, do we have carrier trips. MFL itself puts on a producer trip on top of all of it. So guys, if you're looking for a reason to get after it, buy leads, dial the phone like crazy, and care about people, this is just another one. So, but on top of that right now, Ignite, working with corporate. How did I get here? We're working with corporate. They are out of town right now. We were trying to finish the agenda this week for Ignite. Turns out we had to push it a week just because they had to go run this huge event in Cancun. Shucks. So good for them. They deserve a little reprieve every once in a while. But my man Zach, as well as 90 other top producers, top agency managers, will be speaking at Ignite Palm Beach coming up on October 2nd at the Palm Beach County Convention Center. There we go. It just looked like a hard word in there for a second. But want to learn more? IgniteEvent.com. Over 1,100 people have registered so far. We're going to have to get a bigger room, I think, but expecting just a huge turnout. So if you are on the East Coast or you're in the Midwest or you're on the West Coast, you just want to get better, set everything you can in to get to this event. Jade, how much is the event? How much?
Great.
Thank you. There you go. So it's free. Just get there. So moving on. Lead Champ, the favorite CRM of the top producers. We love Life Center. We're going to talk about Life Center here in a second, but Lead Champ is where you go when you have, spending $500, $1,000 a day in leads, right? A day, I said, yeah, we've got agents that spend an absolute crazy amount of money on leads at this point, but then they have six-figure a month in production. They use this service. So tons I could tell you about them, but I've spoken about them many times, but they just introduced their own power dialer that completely integrates direct into the CRM. So everything is just much more efficient, nothing linking, nothing out, all one system doing everything it can to book you appointments and keep your clients on the book. So if you want to learn more about them, go to their website, book a demo. Right now, $50 off with code FFL. So make sure you use that if you decide to get started with them. But if you talk to any top producer, they either heard about them, they're using them, or they're getting ready to use them. So love those guys. Life Center. That looks like Andrew B. Life Center, we've talked about it countless times. Life Center is so good for our brand new agents. I got a little special thing coming up on the next slide for you as agents that I'm excited for you guys to be able to take advantage of. But as a new agent, the biggest, most frustrating thing that we hear is, what do I know about the products? I don't know enough about the products, Grady. What product do I put them in? And as much as we go, listen, they're 49 and below, sell them term. They're 50 and above, sell them whole life. They got some extra income. Let's look at an IUL. As much as we say that, there's still confusion as a new agent. And the optimal goal in nearly everything is that if you understand the concept of confused people take no action. And the more that we can do to pull the curtains apart and make things crystal clear for people, the more they'll be able to sell faster, take their clients, and put more business on the books. So Life Center has done such a great job of doing that. It immediately integrates into Lead Center. So right now, if you're buying some of those gold, silver, bronze, IUL leads at a 20% off tomorrow, auto discount applied. Those should immediately port right into your Life Center account. And then from there, you can go in there, call Bob, call Betty, call John, call Tina, ask them some questions about their health, plug it into Life Center. It'll immediately spit out what they qualify for. And that's the beauty of this. And then from there, you can go right into Mutual, right into America, right into Trans, whichever carrier you want, auto loads, single sign-on. You don't have to log in, right into their e-app. So guys, we're making this faster, we're making it better. Got new agents selling every single day now because of the tools that Integrity provides for us. They invest into that don't cost us a thing. Has anyone's comp gone down? The leads have only gotten cheaper with more accessibility, and renewals are as good as ever. Just a benefit of being partnered with Integrity. So we're so grateful to have them and take advantage of Life Center. And right now, until November 14th, there is a bonus program, a Fast Start 10 app equals $1,000. How does it work? How can you get a free $1,000 like this? I'm waiting for it to pop up down here. Get paid $1,000 bonus, cash bonus. It's not leads. It's not Robux. My kid keeps asking me for more Robux to play Roblox, whatever the game is called, or Fortnite credits, whatever he wants. No, it's actual cash. You get a $1,000 bonus for 10 life apps issued and paid through the Integrity Technology Platform, which is a fancier way of saying Life Center. Integrity Technology Platform encompasses Life Center, Lead Center, Medicare Center. I'm sure Marketing Center, all the different things they've created for us. Starts today. This was just launched this morning through November 14th. Have at it. Go get free money. And all you do, you got your leads, go in there, quote them, click single sign on. As soon as you do that, go through, complete the app, client pays, which is the ultimate goal. If you're doing an application, you've clearly done good underwriting. They're going to go through, they're going to buy the policy, $1,000 for free. So take advantage of it. It is a huge opportunity for, let me take a picture and do some of my own guerrilla marketing right here. And it's a huge opportunity for all of us to be able to capitalize on Integrity's money, but at the same time, get agents utilizing the incredible tools to streamline and simplify and expedite their business. So, Kat, enjoy it. Let's do one final thing on there. Drop 1,000 below, 1,000, 1000, if you're going to go after the free $1,000. I'd like to just do a quick micro poll. Who's going to do it? Isaac, Ethan, Luke, who's put 1,000 down there? Tanner, who's getting a free $1,000? Tanner, I know you're going to get a free $1,000. There we go. Who's our first one? Robert, we'll take it. We'll take Robert. All right. All right, Kyle's coming on here in just about 2 minutes. And I feel compelled to share something with you. As it is something that has happened in my life recently. And I'm just going to share with you guys. So Caitlin, don't do anything with this, but I want to share this with you guys, the group that's on here actively and intentionally trying to get better. Thank you for all the thousands. Good job. I hope you get it. You should go get it. It's free money. All you got to do is go sell insurance until November 14th. 10 policies between today and November 14th. But okay, so I don't know how I'm going to get this out, but this has just been on my heart, and I need to share this with this group specifically because of your intentionality in your life, your business, your focus on the future, etc. I'm 41, okay? I'm 41 years old. I might not look it, blessed with some Mexican genes, which make my skin brown. But what I mean by that is I'm 41 and I have older friends. And in the past 3 weeks, I've had 2 friends die. two friends die. And it's very weird to have friends die. Like, so there's we got a young at heart group here. And I just need to explain something to you and ask something that we all, I think, could do better. And the message is that we sell life insurance, right? Like we sell opportunity, we sell life insurance, we sell peace, right? We sell ease, we sell living benefits. We have a lot of value we do. Now, like one of my friends that died, he took his own life, 2 daughters, and he's in his 40s like me. And he was my roommate of 3 years. But my roommate of 3 years that I lived every day with, I made meals with, but I haven't talked to him in like 10 years, right? So I saw on Facebook, he took his own life, and you're just kind of sitting there and you're going, shit, dude, like, how does that happen? Like, how does this guy who from the outside has 2 beautiful daughters, a beautiful wife, and he just takes his own life? And you go, should I have reached out to him? Should I have helped him? Should I have offered him an opportunity? Should I have sold him life insurance? Like what could I, and it's not me to solve everyone's problems, right? But like at some point you go, I'm provided with so much opportunity to do good, but I feel like I let him down, right? And it sucked. And then like last week, I had another good friend, like he was a roommate, 4 or 5 years. We were like best friends, 18 to like 23, and lived together for years. And he died. He's 40, he's in his mid 40s. He's got 4 kids. And I go, shit, like, why didn't you reach out to him with an opportunity or reach out to him with life insurance or like, and I'm not looking for anything other than like a message to this group of people, this group of doers. They're like, we can't fix everything and solve everybody's problems, but we can be light. And meaning we can do all we can to like just before this call, like I thought of an old friend and I called him up real quick and I sent him a text. It was a picture and I was like, hey, hope you're doing awesome. And like it brought me this speaker I heard talk one time. It was like when someone pops in your head or your heart and you like think about him and you're like, I should call that person or send him a text or something, do it. Like do it. And like those 2 guys that died, like they probably popped in my head like once a month. Right? Like, cause you just got old friends, you got good memories and you got great times and just like, something happens and you think about that person, you go to a restaurant, like I remember going here with so-and-so and it was so much fun. And they're gone now. And like, I can't text them anymore. And I can't fix that like desire to rekindle that old relationship of like such good memories that we had because they're gone. And so, I just think we are fortunate to live in this world, this group, just us, doesn't go anywhere, of opportunity, right? To make money, take care of our families, opportunity to teach and bless others with a great opportunity and then care for clients and then the life insurance and all the things. Like we are fortunate to have found such an incredible opportunity that when we have the chance, we should do all we can to shine light on others. I think that's what I'm trying to get here. I didn't have a complete plan, but I just felt like I just lost 2. This isn't anything about me. It's just honoring them. But at the same time, like who in your life are you thinking about? Or like an old buddy that's reached out to you that you didn't text back, or old girlfriend, or someone that's like, let's get lunch and you didn't. Like I'm 41 now, which is freaking crazy. And like, I have friends dying. Like, I didn't see this on my trajectory of life. Like my friends are having babies and their kids are going to school. And like, I'm going to birthday parties every freaking weekend, it seems like, but I didn't have on my like life deal with list for this year, old roommates dying. And I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to get to Kyle because I'm so excited about him and his future and everything. But for a second, I just want to ask you all to like do all you can to give. Because in this world, oftentimes it's all about us and what we can take and what we can get and who owes us or how much we can make and what we can do. Versus we're very fortunate. We live in America, right? Got a cell phone, we got all this opportunity that sometimes people are going through some stuff, and it could just be you that changes their whole day, their whole week, could redirect their whole life. And I just ask you all to be a giver of light, and let's have an amazing day. So stop there. It just felt this on my heart, and I want let's swirl this back around. And do me a favor now to get focused. Drop a KY in the chat below to show Kyle Yee some love, because this young man has absolutely torn the cover off the ball over the past year. And I'm so excited for him and his future, but I felt compelled just to share that message with you. So let's move on. And I appreciate you listening and the love and the support and all the things, but that's it. Let's give love. Let's do all we can to give. Give we can. Zig Ziglar says that, if you help enough people get what they want in life, you'll get everything you want in your life. So it's pretty powerful stuff. So without further ado, let's bring on Mr. Kyle Yee.
How's it going?
Hey, brother, how are you today?
Good.
Awesome. All right. Do a proper intro for you, and we'll rip the cover off the ball here. What does this? Hold on. What does it say behind you right now? In the neon.
Humble
and hustle. I like that, bro. I love it. So, okay. Hello, everybody. Grady Polson, the American Agency. So excited to have Kyle Yee on with us. If Kyle had one big fan in his life, it's two big fans. It's probably his parents, and the third big fan is Jacob Gardner, because he loves you and he speaks so highly of you. And I just love how passionate Jacob is, and Caitlin and the whole team, and to see what you're doing now. But at the same standpoint, I can't wait for you to share everybody your story. But your numbers don't lie, right? A consistent $50K a month producer, built an agency up to $400,000 a month already, working like crazy and doing everything he can to push his business in the right direction, investing, events, all the things, and touch on that as we get into it. But Kyle, give us all a little insight on you, your background, how you found insurance, etc. All right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Grady. So yeah, I came into insurance. Actually, it's kind of a funny story. Jacob Gardner, Grady just talked about, he reached out to me on Instagram. Actually, he didn't reach out to me for insurance. He had a V at the time, and it actually reached out to me for it was a different kind of renewable energy virtual sales position. So she had sent the wrong message on accident. And basically I took the call of Jacob thinking I was getting into renewable energy sales and transitioned to insurance, which at that time I really know percent they have audio issues with me. Can you hear me okay, Grady?
You do sound a little glitchy. I don't know if it's if we have too many things maybe open on your computer, or if you have a different microphone in. It would be. I really want everyone to hear what you have to say.
I wonder if it's connected to my phone. Can you hear me now?
No.
No.
We're working on it, Jonathan and Luke. Isaac wants to know the weather is. You know Isaac Meacham?
He's in LA as well, actually, so he knows they're all well.
Got it.
Right now, just put it a bit closer to my.
It's like it's every other thing's cutting here and there.
Give me a second.
You try going from your phone. We'll just have to bootleg it. Are you on a?
How about now?
What are you on?
Can you hear me now? A little bit better?
Yes. A little bit better.
All right, we'll join on the phone. Okay, how about now?
Yes, there we go. Something better.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I think it was connected to my phone for some reason.
cool.
Okay.
All right,
We can hear me
so
now.
let's start. We're gonna do clean start. All right.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Grady Paul or Caitlin will cut it, but here I go. Caitlin's our video editor who's worked with me for a decade. So if I ever talk about Caitlin, he's like, "Who's this Caitlin person?" He always talks about. Is he an imaginary friend? Because I always talk about her. But all right. Hello, everybody. Grady Paulson, welcome to the American Agency. We got Kyle Yee on with us today. So excited to have Kyle on, building a tremendous business, $50,000 a month, issue paid producer, not submit producer, issue paid. Right? It's like when your workout coach goes, biceps are for the girls, but triceps are the ones that actually do anything. Right? So it's like people always talk about submit, but issue paid is all that matters. And Kyle's issue paying $50,000 a month, led his team all the way right now to $400,000 a month and building an incredible business. So Kyle, give us some insight on what you're doing, how it's going, what you're focused on, et cetera, and give us some backstory. I want to hear more about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for having me here, Grady, first and foremost. Yeah, so I got into the insurance business about a year and a half ago via recruitment text from Jacob Gardner. I had no idea who he was at that point in time. It was a complete cold message, but long story short, about 2 months after he had shot this message and gotten 2 or 3 calls with him, I found myself at 2024 annual convention, which I don't believe I'd sold a policy yet. I might have sold one. Okay. So it was like the first introduction. He just told me fly out to Dallas. This is it's February or January 2024. And I had sold a policy. I take that back. I had sold a policy before because I dropped out of USC. That's where I went to college, and took off that semester to kind of go all in on this business. After getting one check from at that time it was Prosperity. I got a check for $955, and I knew I had quite a bit of college debt. I had a rent and I had some bills I had to pay, and I was willing to take the risk. I love sales, so I was willing to take the quote unquote risk. Just bet on myself that I could kind of pay off all that stuff, and this business was the vehicle that could take me to do that. And a year and a half later, we're doing 50,000 a month personally. We're doing 400,000 as a team. And, I think we'll be at $1 million a year or $1 million a month by the end of the year here. Especially after we just had a massive event here in LA, just for first grand opening for our office here in LA. So we had a massive event for that. It actually turned into something even bigger than that, which, is part of why I think we'll be at that $1 million a month number by the end of the year. But yeah, it's been a crazy last year and a half, but so worth it.
That's awesome, man. So let's go back a tiny bit more. So you didn't just come out the womb ready to do sales. You were doing solar before, right?
Yep.
And now I always just not to knock or bag on other industries, but I just am very partisan to insurance. So I always love insight, right? You did well in solar.
Yes.
And did something happen that you didn't like it? Why didn't you go back to it? In school or how much do you like insurance better? If I could lead the witness.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. So I did do really well in solar. It was my first ever sales opportunity. I had some startup work I did in college, but really my first ever sales job.
Okay.
And I did do really well, especially towards the end of it. I had a week where I had 9 deals in a week, which in solar is a pretty big deal. If you're doing 9 to 10 a week, that's sure. Really good numbers. I was doing really well. And ultimately it was kind of a timing thing. My parent at that time, I was going into my sophomore or junior year of college. My parents didn't want me to drop out. So I ended up not doing it. And honestly, I'm so glad I didn't do it for solar, because we all know what happens with solar is you think you're going to make all this money and you don't make all that money. And that's exactly what happened. I was promised, I think in a month and a half, I thought I was going to make, north of $100,000. And, I think I got paid out like 23,000 of it. So, that's just the solar industry for you. They tell you you're going to make all of this. The company goes bankrupt. This happens. It's a shady industry. Also, even if I got paid the $100,000, I am a businessman at heart. So I'm always going to go into an opportunity with scale potential. In solar and any door-to-door position, what's going to happen is you're going to run out of scale potential because you need everyone in person with you and you don't have virtual opportunities. Our team, right? Yes, we have a massive LA presence, but we got, dogs out in Florida, dogs out in Chicago, dogs out in Texas, dogs out in Arizona, right? We got guys coming on in Nevada. We've got guys coming in all over. Mississippi team. We got, people coming in from left, right. And the only way that's possible is if you're in an opportunity that's virtual that allows, that massive scale and what I like to call the network effect. If you have the right people in your business, then network effect allows your business to grow at exponential rates. So in my opinion, that only can happen in a virtual opportunity.
Amen. And we used to not be virtual, right? You go back 5 years ago, we only did in person, and then COVID and all the things, and people are driven in offices, and now it's just better. It's better, it's faster, more efficient, et cetera. So I want to push on solar for one more second. So to make all the sales and have potential for $100,000 in commissions, and I mean, we say only 23, but when you're expecting 100 and 23 comes, I mean, that's a 80% depression on what you thought you were gonna get. Yeah. How common or often is it for that to happen? Like, do a lot of companies close down or don't fulfill their, like, how does that exist? Like I couldn't imagine a business environment where there's just rampant closures and theft of commissions.
Well, I'd say two reasons, right? One, these solar companies, I mean, the way that they run it, it's just it's kind of a shady industry, just transparently. It's a shadier industry, right? They'll do anything. They'll, package a roof plus solar to, because the solar doesn't fit on the roof, and then they'll ruin the roof. And then, the solar doesn't install properly. And, there's all these issues and that. So, companies go bankrupt because of that, because there's lawsuits against them, right? That's just too common, right? Because when you're dealing with like all this physical labor work and you have, just misalignments and that. But I would say actually the more common reason, people are promised all this money in solar and then they don't see it is this, right? This is another reason the insurance industry was so attractive to me, especially from someone who had zero interest in insurance. I literally had no interest in doing insurance. If Jacob Gardner had texted me about insurance, I probably would have ignored it, to be honest. It was a little bit lucky that he had texted me that because I had no interest. Now I love it, obviously. But transparently, when you're in that solar industry, what kind of happens is you have to wait 2, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is for the commission. Because what happens is all these companies that do the installs, that's what they call it, for the solar, right? They take a month to get permits. They take a month to actually do the walkthrough, and then they take another month to actually put the panels on. You get paid when the panels get drilled in. Unlike an insurance policy where if I sell Grady, $200 a month America right now, and he wants it, all of his benefits to begin tomorrow, right? I'm getting paid tomorrow, right? No questions asked, right? I can send him a digital copy of the packet by tomorrow. He'll get a physical one in 5 to 7 business days, but I'll even get paid on it before then. Right. And that's just like the difference in the insurance industry. You see that money immediately, which is crucial for getting new guys paid, which I can touch on a little bit more later. But that's one of our big keys here.
Amen. No, and so I appreciate you digging into that level of depth, because people look at us and they go, well, I could sell cars, or I could do mortgages, or I could get my real estate license, or I could go sell pests, or I could do solar still. Solar still is attractive. If you go to Illinois, and, there's a lot of other stuff out there that can seem attractive. And then you have what seems attractive, and then you have insurance that's actually beautiful. And that's the big difference that I think new agents miss, or agents who haven't completely committed themselves to our business, because they think that somewhere else might be easier. That's just life, right? It's easier to take a pill than it is to eat salad, right? It's easier to get an injection than it is to exercise and get your 10,000 steps in a day, right? To get healthy, right? That's society. So I always try to push on someone like you that's got a great perspective, that had success in the industry, on why it is better here. So thank you for digging in and sharing all that. Yeah. Let's talk about selling right now, because clearly you can sell. You enjoy selling and you're good at it. And, that's sort of big thing that I think many agents will confuse early on, is they'll think they got to know so much of the products, or how to design, an annuity. And they're on these annuity trainings with Iowa. And I'm like, you don't even licensed in Iowa. Why are you on it? Well, Athene told me I had to watch this training video. It's 3 hours. I'm like, Do you have an annuity to sell? No, but I wanted to be prepared. I'm like, well, how about you pay your bills today? Let's get prepared to pay your bills by selling some life insurance. So, you've got a great perspective and ability. Will you dig into kind of your leads, sales process, your daily, weekly disciplines?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my sales process is pretty simple. In terms of systems, it's the same old systems that probably everyone uses. It's just work ethic is different, right? I think that's all honestly the only difference, in like the difference between a 20,000 month producer and a 70,000. The systems are always gonna be the same. But in terms of like my lead flow, yeah, I mean, I love veterans leads. Those have always been kind of my long shot. I mean, to be honest, I wrote almost all my business last year on, working with some older veterans leads, and still wrote 360 grand in about 11 months. So if I had freaking January numbers, I probably would have been Hall of Fame, but we'll do it this year.
Nice.
I pretty much had done that in old. So a lot of, honestly, the sales side for me is just like thinking smarter, not harder. And just being like, diligent with your sales process. For me, if I'm going to do that, I was a big profit guy. I care about profit a lot. I honestly think everyone in this business, there's really no reason you shouldn't be profitable in this business. It's crazy, honestly, if you're not. But one of my ways I did that is I would work some maybe older age leads, but I would have a dialer run through them. So I'm still being super time efficient when it comes to my sales process. So I'm still in 8 appointments a day. They might have to go, the dialer might have to recycle through some more leads, but I'm going through, the fresher ones, and she's going through those. So I'm setting myself up really easily for success. So every living moment, I'm not in a agent call, recruitment call, helping, one of our guys in, a different office, whatever it is, right? I'm on the phones, in appointments. It also has really helped, hold me accountable. I very much recommend dialers to anyone doing 20,000 a month, because it holds you accountable to a different standard, because it's like, oh, not the same old stuff. It's like, I gotta go back, make my 300 dials a day. It's like, no, your schedule's already booked. You have, 6 to 8 appointments, and you're, not going, you pay your dialers. So you're not going to not show up to your 6 to 8 appointments that day. There's literally no reason you wouldn't. Right. So for me, it was just kind of dialing in with that system, having an appointment setter, and then obviously calling a little bit more fresh leads, over time. And it really worked with time efficiency, because obviously I wanted to scale the business side as well.
So 8 appointments a day, you have a dialer. How many days a week are you running that?
How many days a week am I working?
Yeah, I mean, how many days a week do you book 8 appointments? Every day, 6 days, 7 days?
Every day, 6 days a week. Yeah.
6 days a week. Take Sunday off?
Well, not really. Sunday's just like where I'm building the business, but like I'm not making calls on Sunday. Yeah.
Understood. But this is, so for those that want, nothing, what is the great line? Nothing worth having comes easy, and nothing easy is usually worth having. And that's the philosophy that I'm working. Like I'm making up for lost time. I'm fighting the demons, my frustrations is solar. I don't want to lose this opportunity. And I want to grow my team to $1 million a month as fast as humanly possible. Right. You do that working 6+7 days a week. Why? And this is, Sean used to talk about this. Society is built on a 5-day a week, 2 days off philosophy. So if we take 2 days off on set 52 weeks a year, that's 104 days that society is not working. Add in 10 days of sick time, add in 20, 2-3 weeks of vacation time. What are we at right now? We're at 130, 140 days that the world, society, is not working. 200-ish, 220 days a year, middle America is working. Kyle's working 320 to 340 days a year. Who's going to get ahead? And so this is trying to paint a picture of everybody here. You want to get ahead. You want to get out of where you're at. You want to build something. You want to sell 50,000 a month. You got to work. And it's not forever. You don't do this forever. A couple of years, dig in, build your team, lead them. Bro, I'm cheering you on, man. So, okay, so you got appointments. Let's hear, I'd love to hear kind of your open, your control, kind of how you set the table with appointments.
So when, I'm calling the appointment, right? They answer the phone, that kind of intro. Yeah. So my intro, just when I'm calling an appointment, it's just like, hey, is this Grady? Yeah, hey, Grady, this is Kyle. I'm just getting back to you about that appointment we had for today. You spoke with my assistant Cassandra yesterday. This is just in regards to the new veterans programs. You listed your email as 123@gmail.com. Is that correct? And they're like, yeah, that's correct. And then I always, my rule of thumb, because I am, really big on the sales psychology side. I think that's probably one of my strengths. My rule of thumb, I do the exact same thing. It doesn't matter if it's an appointment. I'm not a big believer in like different scripts for all these different types of leads. I do the exact same script for everything. I get 3 yeses. Every single time I start a call, I get 3 yeses. That's my non-negotiable. It's the non-negotiable I teach to everybody. I don't really care what kind of lead. I'll get creative. If it's just a lead with an email address and a state, I'll make up random stuff. I'll be like, okay, and you're, you have resided in, California for more than 1 year. Yes. Like, sometimes I'll make up random stuff. Right. But I will get 3 yeses every time. Why? Because it builds trust. First off, they like me. When you get yeses from people, they're going to like you more. They're like, yeah. Versus like, no, what do you mean? So they're going to like me a little bit more. I'm building an inherent relationship subconsciously in the first 30 seconds. And I'm also confirming things. So I build trust naturally. So that's my big rule of thumb. Just with the intro, regardless if it's an appointment, if it's a call to close, doesn't matter. I get 3 yeses.
So first off, that's fantastic. Everyone should be dropping yeses in the chat below to just show Kyle some love for dropping that on us, because that's fantastic. But are you verifying name, email, phone, like just verification, or are you asking other directions? What are the yeses generally?
So vet leads, if anyone runs like Life Jacket was my favorite ones last year. So those ones don't come with that as much, but I'll give you a lot of times we'll run these survey leads and they will have, more of that information like a typical ILC lead. So let's just pretend it's an ILC lead. So it's always date of birth, address. And then the other thing I'll say is and I'm assuming you haven't received anything in the mail about this yet. Is that correct? And you say, I'm assuming you haven't. So you get a yes, not a no. Like, did you receive anything in the mail? No. I'm assuming you haven't. Yes. Right. And the reason you want to ask that one as the last one is because that one transitions. That's exactly what I'm getting out to you. Because then you go into because now you're addressing okay, yes, that is my date of birth. Yes, that's my address. Yes, I didn't get anything in the mail. What is this? That's exactly what I'm getting out to you. And you kind of relieve any tensions and they're like, oh, okay. That makes sense. And they kind of go along with it, and it's just a way to really break free in that first 30 seconds. Cause my big thing is winning the first 30 seconds.
I love it, dude. So keep going. What else? What else you doing? Cause I'm already in. So I'm yes. What's next?
A lot of things. We have this thing. We have a sheet in our team that kind of came up with. It's called the golden rules. We go over this one a lot. It's just golden rules of, the call, right? One thing we train a lot on is tone matching, right? For example, if I'm working with a Georgia veteran, right, who's Mr. Big Boss guy, I'm going to, match his tone, match his energy at a very different level than, Stacy from Ohio, who's sweet, she's fragile. She's, just a very gentle lady. I'm going to match that tone, right? So I want to make it down to their tone because that builds that comfortability with them. Other things I teach everyone. This is my favorite thing for any objection in the entire world. So it's universal for us, right? Every objection in the entire world. I literally am always going to ask someone, okay, did you use the 3 A's? If they ever come to me with any objection ever, it's 3 A's. So it's agree, address, and ask a question. So what it looks like is this. So if Grady asked me oh, I'm calling you about the new life insurance programs here in California. You listed your date of birth, and they're like, what is this for? And you're like, yeah, this is just in regards. So your first word is always yeah. This is just in regards to the information you had requested on the new California life insurance programs. You had also listed your address as 123 Main Street. So you always agree, you address, what is this about? I'm addressing and I'm asking a question because you got to control this conversation, get them back into another question where you have a yes. So, between those 3 things, you can win almost, you can just generically win a lot of conversations. But for us, it's just following those kind of golden rules, those expectations that we have for our team, because those kind of are universal, right? 3 A's is universal, right? Whether you give me a banking objection, you give me an intro objection, I can address it the same way. It's always agree, address, and ask a question.
Did you buy a course to learn these things? This is great stuff. Did you learn this on your own? Did you have a sales mentor? Is this from stuff from Solar? Is this just you pounding YouTube? Because this is good stuff, Kyle.
So if I were to attribute it to like one, I mean, definitely I would say like if I mean like the guy I learned from in solar was a dog. Like the head guy in solar, he was a dog. One of the craziest closers I've ever met. Now, in terms of like these rules, I will attribute like a lot of just the philosophy to those guys because they taught me a lot. I think but I think a lot of that also is like they taught me a lot because I was willing to go above and beyond to go do all that extra stuff. Go to their apartment at night if I had a bad day and I'd like pick their brain ridiculous, for a ridiculous amount of hours because I just want, I was the youngest guy in the office, so I was hungry. So, but in terms of like agree, address, ask a question, I mean, that I made up, kind of on my own, the 3 yeses. I mean, I kind of just made it up over time.
You start to figure out what works for you. And if it works for you enough times, you give it to someone. They go, that worked for me. Then all of a sudden you got trust in yourself. And then you try with someone else and they're like, it worked for me too. And then all of a sudden, okay, this is how we do it, right? 3 S's.
Exactly.
Agree, address, and ask. Okay, so let's get what I want to hear some ye close techniques. How we close in, slamming it down, overcoming objections towards the back end of the presentation.
So like effective date banking kind of
whatever you want to go over, because this is
Sure.
You've been killing it.
My favorite effective date line is this, because I feel like your effective date really sets up your banking. I'll tell you this. I know it kind of gets debated. There's some top dogs on our team or in Caitlin's agency that actually get the banking first and then the effective date. I'm still an effective date, then bank. I kind of follow the exact Americo app basically. So effective date banking. But my favorite effective date line is this. I tell them, okay, obviously, with these new programs, right, this is, one of the more innovative programs, you're eligible, obviously, to have all of your benefits begin upon approval if you get approved here. So the question I have for you, Grady, is, of course, if you do get approved here, any reason you wouldn't want all of your coverages, benefits, and all of the, everything we've encompassed on the call to begin upon approval for you. And then what that line does is it basically either is going to pull out an objection that you're probably going to get banking anyway, right? Any reason you wouldn't want it to begin upon approval, right? Because at the end of the day, you want effective immediate lease, right? You don't want this person to have to wait a month. They get the packet that, it's like solar all over again, right? You want effective immediate lease.
They get
right?
billed 29 days and they go, oh, what the heck? We weren't planning on $160. Who's Americo? Yeah.
Exactly. You want effective immediately. So I'm going to do one of two things there, right? It's kind of like my favorite line in the business, which is like, hypothetically, if I was able to take you from this, if I'm, helping out someone get a better rate on the coverage, hypothetically, if I could get you, if you have 10,000 now, you got 15,000, we kept your rate the same. Any reason that wouldn't make sense. What that line does is it pulls out an inherent objection. So same thing in effective date. If I'm asking them any reason you wouldn't want all your benefits to begin upon approval, well, yeah, they might just tell me like, oh, no, this isn't a good time of the month. I have my Social Security come in on the 3rd Wednesday of the month. So, okay, cool, right? We'll do that. But they'll also be like, yeah, I need to talk to my wife, right? Yeah, Grady, I'm not 100% sure I'm doing this yet. So, let's hold off on that. Because what I don't want to have is I get to banking and there's still that uncertainty with that objection. Right. So I'll go and address that objection. Okay. Obviously, your wife, I know it's just you right now who are dealing with this. Is there any reason you could foresee you having a product like this that's going to protect you and your wife right now, as well as when you're no longer here? Any reason you think she would turn something like that down? Right. And she's like, well, any reason you think that she wouldn't want to have a $15,000 check, if something happened to you tomorrow? And she's like, and they're like, well, yeah, I mean, it is kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess, yeah, she would be okay with it. And I'll be like, basically I'm kind of just pulling out. It really depends on what they tell me. But what's the most important thing about that line is I'm pulling it out before I get their bank account because I don't want to deal with it. And then you get a banking objection, you get rescheduled and the wife, I got to wait for my wife to come home to give that information,
No, and a lot of that you'll dig out along the way, and then you're going to find, then right there, boom, it's wife. I need to think about it, etc.
Exactly.
You got approval. That's excellent, man. So, what do you do at the very end to like tie it down? They don't talk to anybody else. I'm your broker for life. Any thank you cards, cookies, brownies. You send them a kitten. What do you do at the end of the conversation? / what do you do to solidify the sale?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not crazy. I don't have like a crazy one. Like I'll tell you about one of our guys, Luke. He sends a thank you card to every single
job,
client.
Luke.
Yeah. Shout out Luke. He's definitely on here right now. But he sends a thank you card or referral letter to every client he has. So he's he's doing that a lot for me personally. I don't do that. Pretty much my solidification line is I tell them, obviously, I've got some good news, some bad news. I'm pretty sure this is, this line has gone down from generation to generation. Yeah, I got the good news.
It's a great
I got
line.
the bad news is, you're going to be stuck with me. And I'm an actor, I like to act it out. I'm like, yeah. And Grady, I got some good news and I got some bad news for you, man. Which one did you want to hear first? And I'll get all sad and I'm like, okay, the bad news first. Yeah, Grady. So the bad news is, unfortunately, you are going to be stuck working with me from here on out. Can you handle that one? Okay. And they'll be like, oh yeah, no problem, man. Okay. Well, great. Well, if you thought that was, not too bad of news, well, the good news is great then, because you actually got approved as applied here, which is the best form of approval. We can obviously get you here, and then I kind of break down the packet with them, text them over, the policy information, that kind of stuff. So that's my solidification. I think it's just the way you act it. So you kind of like make it funny for them, because they're like, oh, what, man, you got me good with that one. You'll have someone always say that. So I think it's just how you act that line, because I definitely did not come up with that line. That line has been passed down, I feel like, for quite a while.
The drama of it. And so for all the agents on there, like, he enjoys that, right? It's fun. He says it passionately. He's gotten success with it. The client likes it, right? So, big thing, if everybody watching, like, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong, right? Yes, you got to make sales. You got to get reward. You got to do what's right, ethical, moral, etc. But there's a little bit of drama to it. And that brings levity. It change the mundane, parts of your day into having a little fun. And I'm sure Betty's laughed a few times out loud and you're like, that was good. I got her good, right? So awesome. Any final things on selling before we jump into building?
No, we keep it simple. Not a big believer in, overcomplicating a process that isn't complicated. We keep it simple. We have a good culture. Everyone works hard. We set an expectation. We have a 90-day rule, with our sales, and, we have extremely strong culture, a bunch of dogs that come in and they work, super freaking hard, and they sell a lot of business, and our culture, continues that exact tradition, as it grows and grows and grows and grows. So keep it simple.
It's awesome, bro. Are you the number one producer in your agency?
I am. Yeah.
It's good. That's good. That's how, it gives you the permission to coach, it inherent trust without even anyone need to look. And then you know what you're doing. And I love that, dude. That's why you're building so fast. That's one of the many reasons, right? Massive exposure is great attitude. You know what you're doing. So let's jump into that. Kyle, you have an agency right now that's doing consistently $400,000 a month. How many agents do you have that are working with you?
So
let's just go producers. How many people made a sale last month?
40.
40. Okay. 10K average. Not bad average. Right. Yep. Some were way higher. Some sold one, but let's jump into that. What inspired you to want to build? Where are you finding great people and how are you getting them started?
Okay. So the first one, I started building almost this time last year. That was the first time I actually brought on someone. And if, you want to know my biggest regret, which I don't believe in regret, but my biggest regret was, if I were to believe in regret, was actually not starting earlier. But aside from that, it was about this time last year. And, what really kind of triggered me to start building, obviously I was raking in, good money. I've been here for like 6 months now. I was raking in good money. I was doing 10 to 15, every month. And I was like, why am I not like showing this, to my roommates here at USC? Like, why am I not getting more people? And trust me, some people are stubborn. They're like, nah, like, I don't know if it's like, you're the only one that can do it. Like, we don't really know if we can do, like, trust me. I had talked about it, but I didn't really like focus on it. But really what like kind of triggered it for me was just like when we would do like, these lock-ins and stuff, and you'd see, the gratitude from some of the guys, towards some of their former mentors of bringing them in because of like X, Y, and Z changed their life. And right, I'm young, so like I'm sometimes oblivious to some of these things, but like I would start to notice it a little bit more. And like X, Y, and Z changed their life. Like, thank you so much. And it was like, okay, well, like these guys are doing it. I'm definitely one of the top producers. Like I can definitely show someone how to do this. And like, I want to, help change, have that same persona, have that same effect on someone else's life, like someone before me did. So honestly, that's what changed it. Cause I had a lot of, I was, not in a great financial position when I came into this business by any means. I might have went to USC, which sometimes misleads people, but I was sure as hell not in a good financial position. And I know a lot of other people that probably weren't. And it's really cool. You know, we got guys on here. I'm not going to, say names right now, but we got guys on here that were in $27,000 of credit card debt. We're 7 months unemployed. We're, working a corporate job that, or sorry, not a corporate job, another 1099 real estate job where they didn't get paid for 7 months, literally no paychecks for 7 months. Right. You got guys on here in solar that, same story as me. Right. And it's like, you can have that impact on someone's life. And, I know it works. I kind of like tested the form, I did the, work. So I know it worked. And it was really about just showing people that same opportunity, that same, blueprint that isn't even complicated. It's really not a hard business. Sales is hard work, not hard. But just showing people that same blueprint and changing their lives. Cause, we got a guy on here that, like I said, $27,000 of credit card debt, has 0 today. Is financially free, right? Like those kinds of people, they make a difference in your lives. They make it all the worth it. They make 10 o'clock nights, 5:30 a.m. mornings. They make it all worth it. And it inspires me to work more because it's like they bring this great attitude, this great work ethic because they know the opportunity is incredible. So that's kind of what got me building. And, my only regret was not doing it earlier.
Amen, dude. So you're talking to everybody, right? Posting on social, having conversations with people. They come to you, get them licensed. Some do it, some don't. That's just people.
Yep.
They're ready to get going. Now, what's your 24, 48 hour, 7-day, 14-day? What you got a ye plan for success? What is your launch program? And, from a lead spend to expectant of dials, et cetera, how are you getting them out of the gates, making money, or finding out that they're just not that serious?
Yeah. So every single person, and it pretty much goes down, the chain as well. Like, a lot of our managers will also follow this exact program. So I don't know if Jay Maska is on here. I totally stole this from Jay Maska, so I'll give him credit for it, but it's called the first 90 days. Okay. So I stole this from Jay. We made our own version of it, but I stole that from Jay. And it's your first 90 days, the success, if you want to see, success in this business, if you want to, make those, we're not going to make any promises. We're very transparent in our, recruiting calls. We'll talk about what kind of money you can make, but we never make you a promise that you will make it. But if you follow this guideline, we're like, hey, this is going to be 100% realistic. If you can follow this expectation guide, this is realistic for you. Right. So we'll kind of address that. And we have this very rigid, expectation guideline. So it's called the first 90 days, 90 days hard, whatever you want to call it. First 90 days though. And that's, what we send every single person we work with, and we say, can you follow this, basically. So I'll give you a couple, it's long. It's like 3 or 4 pages. So I'll give you just a couple rundowns of it. It's obviously the first page is a summary, okay, yeah, change your habits, build new schedules, create better habits for your life, work on your personal development, become a new person in 90 days. This isn't a business just about sales. This is actually a business opportunity. So become a better businessman, better mentor, better person, develop yourself, right? So that's the first page, right? The second page is these 20 things that we expect out of you in your first 90 days. So a couple of them are going to be, read 10 pages of a book, right? Go to the gym in the morning. 300 to 400 dials a day minimum, never less. 150 leads a day. Be in contact with your mentors. Write down every single objection you didn't know the answer to, and at 8 p.m. you call your mentor and you ask them every single objection, and we do an objection call at 8 p.m. that night, right? So those are a couple of them. I can send someone the list on it, but that's the rundown on that page. And then the third page is the most important one. So we have 5 goals for our guys. So first goal. I'm not sure if I'm gonna remember all of them, but I'll give you a couple of them. So my favorite one, save $20,000. So my goal for every single person that I bring into this business is save $20,000. So I'm sure if you guys have seen our team, our average age is 22. It might even be younger than that. I might be being generous. It might be 21. Our average age is not very old, right? So we all acknowledge that we're not, sometimes when you're young, you don't make the best financial decisions, yada, yada, yada. So our goal for everyone that joins us is save $20,000, right? Yeah, you might make $10,000, $15,000 your first month. You might make $20,000. Who knows, right? You might make that your first month, but you can't go below that, right? This is not a job. This is not a, you're not guaranteed that next month. No one's guaranteeing that except you. I mean, you could make more than that, but it's not guaranteed, right? So you need to hold that money. That money needs to go invest back into your business. So our goal, one of our big goals is you save $20,000. Another goal is you read 3 books, so a book per month. And then obviously we want, people to become a sales manager in the first 90 days. So that means you have a team that does 50,000 a month, because what that means is, the best teacher or the best producers are always going to be the best teachers, right? So that's when I learned, math, the best way I learned how to do math, and I hate math, by the way. I was an econ major. I hate it. But when I learned how to do math, the best way when I actually got better at math was when I had to teach it. My mom made me teach it to my little sisters and stuff. That was how I learned math. So if you want to get good at something, you actually learn how to teach it. It's kind of weird, but that's in my opinion. When I tell people, I was like, how do you get good at sales? Well, learn to teach it, So basically, one of our goals for people is that they are teaching people already, in those first 90 days, they're learning to teach it. Not because, we want you to build a team, but more because we actually want you to evolve as a producer. And if you evolve as, a teacher, you'll evolve as a producer. So those are like 3 of the 5. I can't remember the other 2 off the top of my head, but the last section is the schedule, right? And this is the most important one, right? Because I can reference this if you come to me and you're like, Grady, I thought I was going to make this, but I didn't make this, man. Like I thought, I was, this guy, you have like 5 guys that told me like they made X, Y, and Z, and I didn't hit that, man. Like what's going on? And I reference this. So we call full-time 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So 12 hours a day. That's full-time for us, right? If you're 10 to 7, we had this, one of our dogs, Alex Cobb, I don't know if you're on here. He's like, man, you got me in the only industry in the world where 10 to 7 is part-time. I said, yeah, it is part-time. And, for us, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., that's when you're actually full-time. And that's the only time. You work 11 hours, you're still part-time. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., you're full-time, right? And if you're not, that's Monday through Saturday, right? So we'll reference that a lot, with our guys, because if you want to hit these thresholds, you got to put in the work. You are no longer in a, W-2 sales job world. This is a business-oriented business where you have the opportunity to build your own business. So you got to, I think it was Ronnie Salem hopped on one of our Zoom calls. If you want to get paid like a part-time guy, work like a part-time guy. You want to get paid like a 9-to-5er, work like a 9-to-5er. If you want to get paid like a businessman, you work like a businessman. So we're not here to develop 9-to-5 guys. You came to the wrong team if you want to be a 9-to-5 guy. We're here to develop business guys. So we send you that schedule, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And actually it's 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. because your first hour is at what we call admin hour. But, that's where our schedule is. And I'll reference that if, someone's, comes to me because I'm like, hey, dude, all of our top guys, they run this schedule, right? You went to Cancun or, you went to, I just said Cancun because there's a bunch of guys in Cancun right now. You went to freaking South Dakota, because you made $10,000 2 weeks ago and, you decided it was a good time for a vacation, right? Our top guys, they take 0 vacations, so that's our schedule. That's how we run it. Yeah. People might say it's intense, but that's how we've grown from 0 to 400,000 in less than a year. So, it works in some ways.
It's not forever. It is for now. It's 24, 36, 48 months of intensity. Sales. Those guys that you're breaking sales managers will then soon become senior sales managers, soon vice presidents getting VP bonuses, soon EVPs and board members getting big agency manager bonuses, and having built something real that people can consistently have overrides coming in, bonuses, carrier bonuses from a business that they built because they sacrificed now. Kyle, you're building something fantastic, dude. You're wise beyond your years, and it's I'm stoked to watch you continue to explode, brother. It's awesome. As we close out, any final advice you got everybody out there that's looking at you and going, ooh, I like it, but what's the final rally cry you've got for everybody?
Yeah, 100%. So this is my final rally cry. So if you come into this business, on top of like we just talked about with schedule, right? And some guys will say they worked 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And there's a difference between my dog Luke or Josh working 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and maybe some new guy, because those guys, when they're working 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., it's call, not, let me grab breakfast with Susie, dinner with Nancy and lunch with, Stacy, right? They're dialed, they're working efficiently, Uber Eats and lunch, whatever needs to be done. Right. And there's a difference, right? So one of my big things is non-negotiables, right? So for me, and what I recommend to everybody, if you want to be successful in this business, is you need to make a non-negotiable and it needs to be a sale a day. And that is quite literally a non-negotiable. So for example, if you have a travel day, right, when you are, we had a day where I was traveling from Florida to New Orleans to California in the same day. It was going to take me like 10 hours of travel. I woke up at like 5 a.m. that day because I had between 5 a.m. and this is Central Times, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. basically before my flight to get a sale because it was a non-negotiable. So I went 7 months before I broke. The only reason I broke that stupid, I'm so mad about it. The only reason I broke that non-negotiable was because I was raising so much money for the massive event we just had in LA. And I was on the site, building so much stuff for this massive event we just had in LA. And I only broke it 2 days still. And, basically outside the month of July, I went 7 months straight with getting a sale a day. So Monday through Saturday, with the only exceptions being convention and Caitlin and Jacob Gardner's wedding day. The day before, the day after, still got a sale. Those are the only 2 exceptions. Convention and Caitlin and Jacob's wedding were the only 2 exceptions. And I already planned that at the beginning of the year. I already knew that those days were the days I was going to take off, right? But that was non-negotiable. And that means like no matter what, no matter what you got going on that day, no matter what your mom calls you about that day, no matter what happens to your friends, cats, dogs, nephews, goldfish, right? No matter what happens, it's a non-negotiable. Right. And if you do that, you will inspire so many others around you because the people that win in this business are the most consistent people. And that's ultimately the one thing I've learned. It's the one non-negotiable I stick to every single day, every day since the event. I'm back on that track. Haven't missed. Now I won't miss for the rest of the year. It's a non-negotiable for me. So I don't care how many people we have on. I don't care how big of a team we have. I'm still going to hit that non-negotiable. I don't care how many I get 45 missed calls, during a sale these days. So I don't care how many missed calls I have to take. I'm getting my sale. And, my team knows it, they all know it. And they know that that's the expectation for them as well.
Amen, bro. That's awesome. Guys, drop a 1 in the chat below to give Kyle some love for the 1 sale a day. If you want bonus points, you can write out ONE. But dude, amazing, phenomenal, just focused. Kyle, you are you're making it happen. You're leading an army, and the only thing that they need to decide is, do they want to be alongside you? Because where you're going is so far and fast. It's gonna be tough for them to keep up, but it seems like you got a great group, great support. Luke, good job on all your sales, bro. Alex, these guys that are in here, arm in arm with you. Kyle, you're just killing it, brother. So appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. When's $1 million a month? What month are we doing $1 million a month in?
December. We'll hit it by end of year.
I love it. December, great month. You know why? People are focused on their family, and it's the last chance they can. Every time I had December was my biggest month of the year. December was always my biggest month because people are thinking about their families, how much they love them, how much they want to protect them. So cheering you on, bro. Maybe sooner. Yeah,
we got Eleanor in here in November. I love it. Maybe we will.
I like it. All right, bro. Thank you again. Have an amazing day. Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Talk soon. All right, everybody. Huge insight from Kyle. Oh my gosh. From the 3 A's to the 3 yeses to the 1 sale a day. I mean, 90 days hard. Just such good insight. I'll reach out to Kyle. I'll get the 4-page fast start packet from him. We'll post it in Slack. But guys, amazing business. You're hearing it here. People, all different ages, all walks of life, are going out there and making it happen. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for today. And we'll pass it over to your moment of Zen. Thank you, guys. See you next week. Bye for now.
I want the people to buy. Now, one of the reasons sales is easy for me, I am not vested. I don't pretend I don't care if they don't buy. I actually don't care. Now, how can I say I don't care if they buy? I'm in sales. I'm out talking to people. I'm making presentations, but I'm saying I don't care if they buy. I'm saying I don't care if they buy because I understand a law called the law of averages. And the law of averages says out of every X number of presentations I do, I'm going to make Y number of sales. For everybody, that average is going to be different. So for some people, that law of averages is going to say, well, for every 10 presentations I make, I'm going to make 1 sale. For somebody else, it's every 20 presentations I make, I'm going to make 1 sale. For another person, it's every 30. For one person, it might be for every 4 presentations I make 1 sale. Well, here's what's really cool. You can increase your average through a concept called pre-indoctrination. free indoctrination sounds, ooh, but it's not. So think about the word doctrine. What does the word doctrine mean? The word doctrine means teaching. So doctrine means teaching that's inside them. So if you can teach them something about the result they desire, not about your stuff, not about your product, not about your offer, not about your service, but if you can teach them something about the transformation they're already looking for, before you make them the offer, the likelihood of them saying yes to the offer increases exponentially.